And I'm joined by Elin Larsson and Kristoffer Schander of Blues Pills. How are you guys keeping?
Good.
All good. All good.
Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Like I say, as we air this interview, you guys have just released Piggyback Ride. It would have just been launched into the world. I've been fortunate enough to hear the whole album birthday and to send that across, and it's a great album from you guys. I got to say, but this song in
Thank you.
particular is a definite favourite of mine from the record. So I'm really glad
Oh,
you're releasing
wow.
this. Um,
Yes.
it's just got a really
It's
cool groove to it. It's got some real swag about it, you know. Just
yeah.
musically, let alone the kind of lyrical content. But what made you guys want to release this song in particular as a single?
So this is one of my favorite songs too on the album. Because it's so fucked up. It goes so many different dimensions. Influence wise and just sound wise. And I do like this metal scream at the end. It's just like
Uh,
crazy. So this is one of my favorite too. It really is like if I put it on, I really feel empowered from listening to it. I have the swag, so I like those kinds of songs. So this is one of my favorite too on the album, definitely.
nice. And I mean, lyrically, quite an interesting background on that.
Yeah, it's like when you've done three albums, you're just like looking for inspiration, you know. So it's about the wild pigs here in my hometown. But I mean, I think like a lot of people don't like the wild pigs or the what's it called, like wild hogs. Is that the
Okay,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
So because I mean they are scary because they're in gangs, you know. But I think we just wanted to make a fun song about it because we had some problems here in my hometown about it. So, but I think it's a good song. And I like the pigs.
yeah. Are the pigs making a part in the video? That's what I want to know.
No, unfortunately not, but we have some cows in the video.
It's all
So
farm animals. It's all good.
that's the same.
Like you say, it's got great groove to it. Like the bass line on this one, Kristoffer, is freaking wicked. I'm a bass player as well, mate, so I'm always picking up those ones out. But it's got a real good. The whole album's got a really good groove to it all the way through, I think.
Thank you. Uh, yeah, this one was someone was just yelling out when we were jamming on that track, like, Do some gorilla stuff on it." And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. But like I say, this album in particular, it's got almost like a modern pop kind of feel production wise to it. But all your
Yeah.
albums, you know, from the debut through Lady in Gold, through to Holy Moly, every album's had a different vibe kind of sonically across the whole thing,
Mm.
I think. But do you go into a studio with a vibe that you want in mind, or is it just something that happens between yourselves and the producer that you're using that particular time around, do you think?
I think like it's something we learned from, being in a band forever, I would say. It's, like just focusing on the song, like not so much the sound even. Like I mean that comes later on. But I think definitely older I become, less I tend to give a shit. So we were just focus on each song, and for this album we did use a pop producer, more mainstream producer, called Freddie Alexander. So of course, I mean he had his influences on us as well, and came with a lot of inputs. But the thing is we did it like how we always done albums. We did it live in the studio, like most part of it, like bass, drums and guitar. So compared to Leading Gold, which was the second album of us, we did like so many overdubs over and over and over and over, like layers over layers. So we really like realized during along the way, as recording, that we tend to do the best when we do most, uh like the most we can live, sort of with the whole band. um so but then of course it's like, Freddie Alexander, he mixed the album, so he had more of a, like, pristine sound to it, but I think it really fits us. And I mean, we're good at writing rock songs, so I think he definitely came to our band with some new, you know, energy and some other like cool ways to go into parts and so on in songs. So I think it turned out pretty goddamn good.
You should be proud of it. It sounds great. I mean, I feel like, you know, I've been listening to you guys since the debut and everything, and I just feel like on this album, it sounds like I say, every album's kind of gone slightly differently sonically, but it feels like this album's gone, I don't know, even freer. It's like you just threw stuff against the wall and went where it went on this record even more so.
Yeah, it's very, I agree. It's very schizophrenic. Like it's so, you know, very, you know, heavy songs, but then like, you know, also like happy sounding songs, but the lyrics is like terrible, you know. It's very interesting. But also, I mean, on this album we actually wrote a few happy songs, which is like not normal for us because we're super depressed usually. So that was also something new, you know, which was cool. And I hope we will keep this for the next album as well. But it really is, you know, like growing older and like, you know, not being afraid of take influences from, you know, completely different directions. Of course, we always gonna have, you know, Sabbath and Fleetwood Mac, and I mean, for me, Tina Turner and Aretha Franklin, and you know, all these amazing bands from the 60s or 70s that have influenced us. That's gonna be like the like ground beneath us, like where we go off from. But then, I mean, today's music scene overall, it's like a huge treasure. It's so much good music, like in every different genre. So it's just, you know, it's amazing actually. So why should we be afraid of you know, getting new influences and finding new ways to go around our music?
No, absolutely. I mean, like you say, good music is good music, and if it's influencing you, there's plenty of bands that have taken influence from stuff outside the genre. And to me, you know, you've always been one of those bands for me that goes where the song goes, and that's important. I don't think you should put shackles on what you're doing just because just because you like you say, just because you like Sabbath doesn't mean you can't like anything else, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I did see in the notes that the record itself was recorded anyway in just 10 days. Is that how you would normally work that quick in the studio?
No, definitely not. I think like Leading Goal took us 2 years, so that was something new. And the same with Holy Moly took forever. But I mean, of course, we were very prepared before we went into the studio. We had like, you know, we had everything under control, I would say, like lyric wise, melody wise, that we had like demos of almost every song. Like some of them weren't finished, but it was most like the biggest problem for us this time around was to find time where everyone could meet up and work together, because now we live in different towns in Sweden and we have jobs and other stuff. So it was mostly like finding the right schedule for everyone.
So if the record itself, like the recording part aspect of it was done in 10 days, but what was the kind of writing period for this? You know, how long were you spending on? Because I appreciate you've had a lot going on in your own personal lives, but sort of around the time of doing this record.
Yeah, I think the whole band met up like at least like 2 weeks, but like 1 week in the beginning of the year, and then 1 week later on, I think like in, when was it, like March or whenever? Yeah. So we had like different sessions, I would say. And then, you know, of course you sit home and then you finish a little bit, you know, whenever you had time. But I would say like approximate like 2 weeks, I think we were writing together and tracking some demos at Zach's place. And then we probably had some old demos that we worked on as well later on. So it was a puzzle. Like we had no idea how it would turn out. Like I think we didn't even have a name for the album until like very late, which all made sense, you know. with the story and everything. It was just yeah.
Like with that, was Birthday the track that made you go, okay, this is the kind of trajectory for what we're wanting to put out there with this album, or did you already have that earlier on in the writing process in terms of, you know, what you wanted to put out there?
No, I think it was also funny that we like called it Birthday, because I sing it in the beginning, like I'm gonna ruin someone's birthday. And I think like the whole album, like the cover and everything, it all like came together because, you know, I found out I was pregnant during the recording. So Birthday, the name is more, you know, about my situation, because like, you know, I recorded the last two songs when I was 9 months pregnant. So it was a journey for me to do this whole thing, and I'm super proud I did it. But then, you know, I was pregnant when we took the photo shoot. Like when we did the photo shoot, I was 8 months pregnant. So it all sort of fell into pieces. But then, of course, the song Birthday, that's like another story. It's like about my own birthday that like kind of turned sour. But so it's not like really the title of the record, like that song. But yeah, so it's a bit confusing now when I think about it.
Sometimes it's the way it just goes there when you write so organically, doesn't it? You look back and you go, what was I've done it myself, so I know what you mean. Where did that come from?
Yeah, it's like the scream, like, you know, the metal scream on Piggyback Ride that I do at the end. I'm just like, now when I listen, I mean, it's cool, but I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why did I do that? And it was so important for me at the time, you know. And then I was like pretty big. I mean, I had a belly, and I was like, we need to have this. It's like, why? Now when I think about it, it's like, why? But I mean, it really is cool, but it is a bit weird.
Was that screen planned then, or was that just something that came out while you were doing your vocal line?
No, it just came. I mean, it sort of just came out because we wanted it to be like all, like we said with this song with Piggyback Ride, we said like, okay, let's try to make it as fucked up as it can get, like sort of. And then I really wanted to try out my metal screams because, like, I mean, I've been practicing a little bit at home, and then I was just like, you know, and when we do practice together, I tend to like go on full on metal scream. So which the guys like thinks is hilarious, but I don't know. I just like, this is what the song needed. But now when I look back, it's like, did it need that?
I remember this moment we were like down in the kitchen making some food, and then we came back up into the studio, and she was like going all crazy. We were like, what the fuck happened during that? So we were like singing normal. Now it's a fucking metal show in here.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to you have to try different stuff. Like, at least we tried.
If you're going for it.
Yes. They're like, there she goes. Yeah.
I mean, like you say, you were like heavily pregnant when you were doing the last few vocals. Now, you've always been a really powerful singer, and then like, did you obviously, you know, you're pregnant, things are physically different compared to obviously when you weren't pregnant. Did you find like delivering the vocals different when you were, or did you feel like you were still in the same boat?
Yeah, I mean, because I was getting like very, very huge during my pregnancy, like so yeah, at the end it was like physically more hard. I also had like, I think even like higher, like my voice is pretty deep usually, but it like, I don't know if it like pressed it up somehow to get room. I don't know. But so I think it was physically harder. I think I was a bit, and I also like, for some reason, Zach on the last track that I recorded the vocals on, which is like a drug.
I love that
He
track.
like yeah, he like decided for me to do this like vocal solo, and I was like, you know, 9 months pregnant. I'm like, really? He's like, let's just try it. And I'm like, you know, struggling, but I'm super proud. I went with it, you know, because it turned out pretty cool. But definitely, I think I could go higher up. I think like in my register, and not so low. But I mean, I was pregnant. I had to work. Like, that's how it is. It was cool. Yeah.
You mentioned like a drug there. That is another track that I really. It's just got this really cool brooding kind of sound to it. It's almost got like a haunting quality to it that I really like. Where did that one come from in terms of writing, in terms of like again really cool almost blues bass line running through that as well.
Yeah, I think like wasn't that the first demo or something?
Yeah,
One of the first.
Yeah, we just had the bass riff and started jamming in the studio, and then came. And that is the demo version. That is
which is pretty cool. The music is from the demo, like the whole drum take, and I think the bass and some of the guitars. It's from the demo, like the actual demo.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so we just like this sounds awesome. Like we should just have it like this. So I just did the last because on this song I finished the lyrics last. I just had like melodies, but I didn't have any. It was just shit. Like whenever I sang, but then I finished it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Do you think that like because you only only ever plan to have 10 days in the studio, or were you just going to be there as long as it took, so to speak?
I think we were trying to like be more economical. Like it's expensive to rent a studio and everything, so we would just like, and after Corona, we just like try to be a bit like cheap asses, I guess.
I think everybody's doing the same thing there, mate. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was also like, because of the financial stuff, we try to rent the studio for as quick as possible, in and out.
We're doing it that way in terms of, like you say, you had a lot of time spent on something like Holy Moly or Lady in Gold, but like having those 10 days in the studio, do you think they're like sort of almost altered the vibe of the record completely compared to the others anyway? It would have done, because you were just going in and like you say, being a bit more strict with yourselves.
Yeah, I think so. And also because we were so prepared, like from, the writing sessions, and we had, we had everything like figured out. Like the only thing that I think sometimes takes time, because, I'm the singer, like it's finding the right sounds on all the drums and the mics, and and then this amp, the guitar pedal, like this. I mean, that's just like, for me, I have ADHD. It's like the most boring thing ever. I just sit there and it's like, sounds good. Which is like probably Zach and the boys' favorite thing in the world, trying cool different sounds and stuff. But I mean, when we did press record, it went super fast. But we also, I think we had like some time schedule as well for recording, but then I got sick. We also had to cancel some gigs. So we actually had to pay for more than we actually used, which sucks. But yeah.
I'm not going to bet you find boring. Kristoffer, what did you change up your bass sound at all? I'm going to geek out here. Did you change up your bass sound at all from Holy Moly to this record? Did you bring in any new?
This is actually I never played on the Holy Moly one. I was just what would you call it? Role played the bass player on that one. Of course, but no, I'm actually on it. So this is the first one playing on.
So how did you find the recording experience then, being the first album that you've been involved in that respect for Blues Bills?
It suited me very nicely. Like, go in, do what you have to do, and get the fuck out. I don't like to spend too much time thinking.
Get the fuck out.
Everybody in the same room, get the whole vibe. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, and you recorded it live on the floor as well, sorry, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I think you can always tell when a band does that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Gives it an extra energy kick, I think, when you listen, you can kind of feel the dynamics.
Yeah, I think so. You get kind of a more live quality about it, don't you?
Yeah.
Nice. So, like you say, well, speaking of live, you are coming over to the UK pretty soon as part of your tour. I'll be coming to London show, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think last time I saw you guys in London was at the Coco when you had Kadavar with you as well.
Oh yeah, and I thought it was called Cuckoo.
Cool. Yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah.
And like after the gig, someone's like, it's like called Coco. I'm like, fuck. I was like, cuckoo. Oh, so embarrassing, but it was pretty cool.
That was cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, how's everything shaping up for the live shows? I'm assuming you're going to use this to showcase the new record because it'll be out August 2nd. The album's out, isn't it? So yeah, not long now.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting. I think we were already good back then live, but now we're. I don't think we never played this good before. So, and we're also a bit, crazy on stage and just getting shit in the face. So I think we're super pumped. I though have to hit the gym a little bit before because I had a baby and things maybe haven't really been focusing on going to the gym lately. But we're gonna be prepared. We're gonna play, I think, like a 90-minute set. So we're gonna play songs from the old records and the new one, and we're gonna go with this Canadian band called Daniel Romano's Outfit, who's they're incredible and they're incredible live. So it's really gonna make us bring it and put the pedal to the metal and fucking play the best shows every night. So that's really we're really looking forward to coming back to the UK and playing rock and roll and have a party.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys have always, I mean, I remember I saw you guys because I don't live that far from Norwich. And the first time I saw you was supporting Rival Sons up in Norwich when Jay was ill. And,
Oh yeah.
even then, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that one sucked.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was the first time I saw you. It might have been, no,
right.
no, Man Fair was after that, I think. So I think that was the first time I'd seen you guys. But yeah, that did suck when you leave the stage. But, I think everybody walked out feeling like, okay, Jay's ill, but we had a good time. So,
yeah,
it was fine.
that was nice. Yeah, that one sucked. I felt so sorry for them back then. And I also had to, I had times where I had to cancel like mid show, and that's like just devastating. It's just like there's no notes coming out. And he had brought it like that was the last show I think on that tour too. So I just felt so sorry for him. He was so close, like.
I mean, he got off with about 3 or 4 songs, I seem to remember, and he really went for it, and then just obviously was too much.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't blame him. I've done the same thing, so it just sucks for everyone involved because like obviously you want to play and you don't want to disappoint people, and the people come to see you, so really sucked. But I actually saw them now on Hellfest and they played a hell of a show. So yeah, they're great dudes.
Yeah, I saw them last time they came to UK when they did the Dark Fire Lightbringer tour. I think it was back in October last year when they last came over. So they didn't get it down this year, but like you say, one of those things. I mean, to be fair to them, they came back and they did another show in Norwich. They did like a cool kind of bluesgrass set halfway through. It was just a bit of a tip to the hat and a thank you for sort of staying with us, sort of thing, which was cool of them. And had a great show. So that was really cool. But
that's awesome.
Go back to your own tour. Are there any songs off the album that in particular you're really looking forward to showcasing live?
I mean, Piggyback Ride, that's gonna be fun, and Holding Me Back. I'm like all to the heavy songs, like which is hilarious because I think the people they think the opposite, that I'm liking the ballads and like the slower ones and like the poppy ones. I'm like the ones who says like in the studio like play like let's have an instrumental part and like have a long solo here and just jam out. But so I'm looking mostly forward to the heavy ones, and of course I mean I really like Top of the Sky too, but and we've been playing it, so that one sounds really good live. I think it sounds better live than on the record. So yeah.
Have you changed it up how you playing Top of the Sky compared to playing it on record?
Not now because we've only played it 2 times, but we probably gonna extend parts and like do some, I don't know, like go through like how we're supposed to play for 90 minutes to keep it interesting, because 90 minutes is a long time. So we're gonna go through that. It's just a bit hard because we don't, live in the same town, so we have to like schedule out when we can work to, practice before the tour and stuff. But yeah, Kiba, what song do you mostly looking forward to play?
Probably a song called "Bad Choices." That's like
Nice.
so.
That's the pop song.
It's a bass song as well. So
Yeah, it has a groovy bass, but yeah.
It does, yeah. It's kind of got a go 60 swing, so I quite like that one.
Yeah. That's actually my least favorite on the album. Which is, but I mean, I still like it, but yeah.
We've all got songs here. Yeah, there's always going to be a least favorite at the end of the day, so something's got to be it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shadows is my least favorite, and then Bad Choices. But I mean, it is still good, but it's just and especially when we have practiced it, it sounds super cool live. But I wanted that solo to be way longer. I think I was disappointed in the studio when my my ideas wasn't allowed.
and down.
Sorry.
No, she hates the song. Classic.
Yeah.
So after the UK tour, what are your plans for the rest of the year?
Well, I think the next summer we're doing festival season, probably playing shows, and I guess we have to like do a lot of content. Like that's the new thing, I guess, for being in a band, like a bunch of cringe content. But we're getting better, and then we'll probably start thinking about a new record and meet up and work up some new demos of songs. So that's probably it, and then work with other stuff. I probably will go and redo my mathematics in school. Actually, I applied for it, so probably time.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah.
That was like time ago.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, I really appreciate it. Thanks for sending the album across. It's been great to hear that sort of had a relation to chat to you both. Looking forward to London showing you guys come over. So we'll see you then.
Awesome. Yeah.
So at the beginning of the interview, I'm going to play Piggyback Ride because, like I say, this sort of Piggyback Ride will be out when I get to air this next week. But what song of yours would you like us to play at the end of the interview?
Maybe Birthday.
Yeah, title track makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll hook that up.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for your time.
Awesome.
And see you in London, I guess.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good one, Lee.
You too. Take care, guys. Bye.
Take care. Bye.